Hey, what's up? So it is nighttime this time around. I stayed up a little late last night, so I chose to sleep in this morning instead of getting up and doing this. So I might be a little bit more energetic. We'll see how it goes. Feels different than doing it in the morning. But, anyways, I want to talk about discipline. And discipline is a byproduct of these anxieties and struggles that I have. Because with discipline, if you have too little of it, it's not a good thing. If you have too much of it, it's not a good thing. So there's kind of this right balance that we have with discipline. And the way I view discipline is more of one's ability to control things. And that's why I think having too much of it is bad. For me, because of my anxieties, mostly, it's led me to want to control as much as I can to help reduce those anxieties. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad or a good thing, but it is something. And it leads me to want to control foods or control the goals that I have to accomplish things and to push myself harder and harder. And a lot of that comes from imposter syndrome as well, which I can talk about in another video. Something that many people struggle with, even if they don't recognize it as imposter syndrome. So with discipline, there is this thing that if you don't have enough of it, then you end up not doing anything, right? If there's no control, then you end up, losing control with your food. You end up losing control with your emotions. You end up losing control of your time. But if you have too much of it, you end up having too tight of a grip, and that's going to only escalate your anxieties and your fears and your struggles. Because if you are so disciplined with what you eat, for instance, and you think, okay, I'm going to eat and I'm going to work out so much, I'm going to be so healthy, the reality is you can do all of that, and it's great to give yourself the best possible chance, but you're still going to come across health issues. They're still going to come. And sometimes things hit you with no explanation. And the worst thing about having too much of that control, being too far on that spectrum, in my opinion, is that you're going to miss out on life. And this is where I fall. I fall more on the too disciplined side. And it's a weird term because normally when you hear it, it's in the context of positive, and maybe you don't necessarily hear it in a negative context. So, but for this instance, when I'm saying that there's too much discipline, it's more of a negative thing, because think about it this way. If I am always focused on doing, and I'm never taking a moment or time to just be and exist, then I'm missing out on life. And to me, that is one of the greatest travesties, is for us to miss out on life. And this is something that I'm slowly learning. Um, Even though I can recognize this, I'm still not perfect or even good at being able to really enjoy life every day. Sure, the big moments I can take in and enjoy, but it's those little moments every day that I tend to miss, which is crazy because that's what I'm so passionate about capturing with my photography. And that could be why I'm so drawn to it, is because it does allow me to slow down and to capture those moments for my family, for other people. And those are the things that I cherish most, especially the older I get, the more experiences that I have, and the things that I've gone through with my family and myself. I'm starting to want so badly to just focus on life and less on doing. But I do tend to fall on that side of doing more and being more disciplined. And the thing about that is the discipline is a byproduct of my anxieties, is to me at least some form of a positive that has come out of these struggles, right? But it has to be it has to be kept in check. And what I do now is I use that to my advantage. So for the most part, and I'm not saying I'm 100% focused and disciplined all the time, because obviously that doesn't happen. There are days or weeks or months or periods in my life where that motivation is low for whatever reason, and obviously a lot of that kind of goes out the window. But overall, that discipline, I use it to my advantage with accomplishing the things that I want to, and as well as trying to take advantage of the time that I have to enjoy life's moments, those tiny moments. But the thing is, I need to keep them in check, like I said. So I'm starting to learn to recognize these little triggers and these physical symptoms, as well as existential things that are going on around me, that help me recognize, hey man, like you need to slow down and you need to think about what it is that you're prioritizing in your life, because things slip when I am so focused and I'm trying to do too much. My body, I could feel that anxiety building up, the tightened chest, shallow breathing, impatient, where I'm ready uh, um, to argue, or I'm quick to yell at the kids, and instead of listening first before I discipline or before I respond. And these things I can notice are happening, and when I've hit that, I know that like it's an emergency, like it's time to stop. If I can't sit down and watch a half an hour TV show with the kids or with my wife without stressing inside about, oh my gosh, I gotta do, I gotta accomplish this, I gotta do that, then that is a huge check that something is wrong and I need to slow down. When I notice like my priorities are, instead of wanting to go hang out with friends and I'd rather be on my laptop working, that's a problem. Working until 10:30 at night, closing the laptop, going to bed, that doesn't work. That is so unhealthy. So it's just recognizing these things. And you can kind of relate it to food. Too little food's not good. Too much food is not good. Too little discipline's not good. Too much discipline's not good. So that's it. I'll take the good with the bad on this one. This is kind of a more positive thing that has come out of my anxieties and struggles. So to me, it's fairly good as long as I can keep it in check, and as long as I recognize, hey, like I'm doing this because I'm trying to control things, or I'm doing this because I'm trying to fulfill a passion or a need or a desire that I have. Because if I'm trying to control, that's bad, right? Because we don't want to have this tight control. We don't want to be driven by control. We want to be driven by desire and passion. And I know it sounds like semantics, but the way you execute things and the way you act are so entirely different, even if only in your mind. The way you approach them are different. The satisfaction that you get out of them are very different. So just keeping an eye on those two things. Okay, have a good night.